Hello, GBS 221. This is Maria Benson, and I'm back with another section on Excel. So I think I'm going to start calling these sessions Statistics Made Easy, and I'm working out of your textbook, The Essentials of Modern Business Statistics by Anderson, Sweeney, and Williams. I'm in Chapter 2, and today I'm working problem number 19. So in problem number 19, we're given a web file, and I already have the web file open. This web file is large corporations. And pretty much what this question is about is Fortune has provided a list of America's largest corporations based on their annual revenues. And shown in this file are the 50 largest corporations with annual revenues expressed in billions of dollars. What you're being asked to do is to categorize these corporations and put them into classes based on those revenues. So the book tells us, the question tells us that we're going to categorize them between 0 and 449 or $450 billion with classes with a range of $50 billion. Okay, so we're going to do this problem using a pivot table. You guys know how much I love pivot tables. So we're going to do this, and it's only going to take us a couple minutes to do it. So here we go. I'm going to create a pivot table, open it in a new worksheet. And we're working with revenue, so we're actually categorizing by revenue. So we're going to put that into our row labels, and then we're also counting how many corporations fall into different revenue ranges. So here we go. So with the revenues, we're going to, instead of sum, we're going to go to value field settings, and we're going to change it to a count. We're going to count how many corporations have revenues in certain categories. So with that, I told you that in A of problem number 19, the question is asking you for a frequency distribution based on classes. So we're going to group these. Here we go. We're going to group them. We're going to start at 0, and we're going to go to 449. Going to round up, and we're going to do it in a range of $50 billion. So here we go. So what we have in column B now is the frequency of corporations in each one of these classes, from 0 to 49, from 50 to 99, and so forth. So now I'm going to add an additional column, and we're going to talk about relative frequency. And by relative frequency, that is for each class in relation to the whole. So this will be equal to this cell 6 divided by the whole. So the relative frequency would be 0.12 for the first class, 0 to 49. We're going to do this for each one. So I'm going to do it the long-handed way because we're still getting familiar with Excel. So let's go through and just fill these in. Divided by the 50 for each one. And there we have it. Relative frequency for each one of these classes. And if we want to check our work, we could always go back and just sum. Sums to 1, so we know we verified our work. It is correct. Let's move on to the next category. The question is asking you to create a cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency for each one of these classes. So with a cumulative frequency and cumulative distribution, let's talk about the distribution first. A lot of students have come to me today and asked me, what does it mean by cumulative? If you think of cumulative in relation to a snowball rolling down a hill, it's collecting as it goes. So by cumulative, we just mean here we go. First category, we have 6, just equal to the six corporations that fall in that category. Second category, if we would go from 0 to 99, we would have the 6 plus the 29, right? So that would be equal to this cell plus what we have here. So we have 35 as a cumulative frequency. If we were to go on and say how many corporations make between 0 and $149 billion, then we would say this is equal to the 35, right? Plus what we have here that fell into this category, the 11. And so on. This cell will be equal to the 46 that we have, which is the cumulative of the 0 to 49, 50 to 99, and 100 to 149, plus what we have here in the 200 to 249 category, 47. This would be equal to, we have here, plus the next category. And this would be equal to 48 plus what fell into the 400 to 449, the 2, which would be our 50. And then relative frequency would be done the exact same way. So if we wanted to talk about relative frequency, cumulative frequency, same exact thing. This would be equal to what we have here, which would have been the 12. Because we started out there. This cell will be equal to 12 plus 0.58, which would give us 0.7. This will be equal to 0.7 plus the next category, which would be 0.22, which would be equal to, plus, just keep going for it, which would be equal to 0.94 plus what we have here, and this will be equal to 0.96 plus we have here, which would be 1. So the final category should be equal to the whole, which would be 1. So this concludes the Excel portion of problem 19. I look forward to seeing you in class.